Have you ever wondered why, no matter how kind, respectful, or supportive you are, she still pulls away? You treat her like a queen. You're always there for her. You never raise your voice, never say no. And yet, she loses interest. The truth is brutal but liberating. You're not being rejected because you're a bad guy. You're being rejected because you're too nice. Women don't want a pushover, they want a man with backbone, mystery, and presence. And if you don't wake up to this reality now, you'll spend your whole life confused, chasing women who only see you as a friend, a backup plan, or worse, a doormat. In this video, I'm going to expose the 10 signs that prove you're being too nice, and exactly why that's killing attraction. This isn't about becoming mean or toxic. It's about regaining your masculine core, stepping into your strength, and finally understanding what women are truly drawn to. So stay until the end, because the last sign might be the one mistake you've been making your whole life without even realizing it. If you're tired of being overlooked, this video will be your wake-up call. The first sign you're too nice is that you're always available. It doesn't matter what she needs when she calls or how inconvenient it is for you. You drop everything to be there. At first glance, this might seem thoughtful. But what you're really doing is sending a message. My time is not valuable. I exist to serve you. Women subconsciously test a man's value through his availability. If you're always ready at a moment's notice, she assumes you're not doing anything important. And if your life lacks direction, goals, or purpose, you lose her interest faster than you can imagine. The second sign is that you avoid conflict at all costs. You say yes when you want to say no. You let her make all the decisions. You walk on eggshells to keep the peace. But here's the hard truth. When you hide your opinions and suppress your voice, you're not being kind, you're being weak. A man who can't stand his ground loses her respect. Women are drawn to men who are calm under pressure, who can challenge them respectfully and stay rooted in their truth. If you're constantly compromising your values to avoid tension, you're not being nice, you're being passive. And that passivity suffocates attraction. Third, you overvalidate her. You shower her with compliments, even when she hasn't earned them. You constantly tell her how beautiful, amazing, and perfect she is. But without contrast, without mystery, your words become noise. Compliments only work when they're earned. When you hand them out like candy, they lose all meaning. A woman starts to feel like you're just trying to win her approval instead of truly seeing her. This is why men who hold their praise, who stay grounded and observant, often trigger more desire. They're not chasing approval. They're expressing genuine observation. The fourth sign is that you try too hard to impress her, whether it's buying expensive gifts too early, telling exaggerated stories, or constantly highlighting your achievements. It reeks of insecurity. A confident man lets his presence speak. He doesn't need to prove himself because he knows his worth. When you try to buy her attention or admiration, you show her that you don't think you're enough on your own. And that energy repels attraction. Women aren't drawn to flash, they're drawn to depth, confidence, and stability. The fifth sign is that you apologize for everything, even when you've done nothing wrong. This habit comes from a deep fear of losing her. You'd rather take the blame than risk upsetting her. But this isn't humility, it's self-erasure. A man who constantly apologizes without reason is signaling that his emotions, actions, and boundaries are secondary. And no woman respects a man who can't own his space. Apologies have power when they're rare and sincere. Overused, they become a symptom of low self-worth. Sixth, you overshare. You reveal too much too soon. You talk about your past, your traumas, your insecurities, hoping that by being vulnerable, she'll feel closer to you. Vulnerability is powerful, but only when it's earned. A woman doesn't want to be your therapist. She wants a man who can hold his own, who reveals layers over time, not someone who unloads everything up front. When you expose your soul to someone who hasn't earned that intimacy, you overwhelm them. Instead of bonding, they pull away. The seventh sign is that you put her needs above your own, consistently and without balance. You cancel plans, neglect your priorities, and rearrange your life around hers. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but over time she realizes that your world revolves around her, and that's not attractive. A man with purpose is centered. He invites her into his world but doesn't abandon his mission. When you sacrifice your path for her comfort, you lose the very thing that made her interested in the first place. The eighth sign is that you seek constant reassurance. You ask if she's okay, if she likes you, if everything's all right between you. You monitor her moods and try to fix problems that don't exist. This turns you into an emotional caretaker, and it's exhausting. Women are not drawn to men who need constant validation. They crave the presence of someone who's emotionally self-sufficient. When you radiate inner security, you stop needing her to validate your existence, and that makes you far more desirable. The ninth sign is that you're afraid to say no. You agree to things that go against your values, your time, or your energy. Whether it's letting her disrespect you, flirt with other men, or push your limits, you tolerate it. Not because you're okay with it, but because you fear losing her. Every time you fail to set boundaries, you send the message, I value you more than I value myself. And that destroys attraction. A man who can say no calmly, firmly, and without guilt is a man who commands respect. The final sign is that you never challenge her. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You agree with opinions you don't share. You pretend to be someone you're not just to keep her interested. But what keeps women truly invested is polarity. They want to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stimulated. If you never disagree, never push back, never spark that fire of contrast, you become boring. A woman may enjoy comfort, but she craves challenge. A man who challenges her with integrity, who holds space for disagreement without drama, becomes unforgettable. Now here's what all 10 signs have in common. Fear. Fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of losing her. And that fear makes you act in ways that sabotage your masculinity. Stoicism teaches us that peace comes from focusing on what we can control, our actions, our thoughts, our principles, not the approval of others. When you internalize this, everything shifts. You stop performing, you stop chasing, you start living for your values. That's when you become magnetic, not because you're trying to attract, but because you're being fully unapologetically yourself. The man who is rooted in his purpose, who speaks with calm authority, who is generous but not weak, who is kind but not a pushover, that man stands out. That man triggers something deeper than excitement. He triggers admiration. Women don't remember the guys who gave them everything. They remember the ones who made them feel seen, challenged, and captivated. So if you've been too nice, too agreeable, too available, don't blame her for losing interest. Take responsibility. Reclaim your power. Redefine what it means to be kind, not as someone who's spineless, but as someone who's strong enough to be honest, direct, and self-respecting. This shift won't just change your relationships, it will change your life. Because the more you practice these principles, the more attractive you become. Not just to women, but to everyone. People are drawn to those who walk with purpose, who speak with clarity, and who move with intention. And once you master that, you'll never have to chase again. Now that you've seen the truth behind these 10 signs, it's time to stop lying to yourself. Being too nice isn't kindness, it's a mask for fear, insecurity, and a desperate need for approval. And the truth is, no one is drawn to that. Not women, not friends, not the world. You weren't born to beg for affection. You weren't made to be soft-spoken and forgotten. You were built to lead your life with purpose, to command your space with presence, and to stand tall regardless of who stays or walks away. It's time to let go of the identity that seeks validation in every look, every reply, every smile. Let go of the version of you that compromises everything to keep others comfortable. Instead, become the version of you that is rooted in stoic power, calm, controlled, and confident. Speak when you have something to say. Act because it aligns with your mission. Give, but only from a place of abundance, not need. Set boundaries, and uphold them without apology. And most importantly, live your life as if no one else is responsible for your happiness, because they're not. The moment you embrace this mindset, women will feel it. They'll sense the change. Some will test it, some will fall for it, but you won't be shaken, because this time, you're not chasing anything. You've already become the man they chase. If this message spoke to you, don't let it fade when this video ends. Let it ignite something deeper. Like, comment with "I choose strength," and make sure to subscribe for more truth rooted in Stoic wisdom. It's time to stop being the nice guy who's forgotten and start being the grounded man who commands respect without saying a word. The choice is yours. Make it count.